Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Hangout podcast. I'm on season 3, episode 5. I am here with a beautiful
Mhm.
lady friend of mine, Cat Cantrill. And we've got a really, really great treat today because Kat's expertise is in matchmaking.
Yes.
So I want to, Kat, tell our audience a little bit about you. We can talk about how we met, and then we're going to go on into like how we match make for businesses and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So I'm an entrepreneur and a dating coach, and a dating stylist and a podcaster myself. So I have a podcast that's called Dear Matchmaker. And I'm what they call a serial entrepreneur, quite honestly. So this is actually my second business. I started my entrepreneurial journey 12 years ago by opening a storefront. It was a dance studio. And at that point in time, I had gone through a divorce and had gone through this whole journey of finding myself and realizing that part of what was missing in my life was something for me to create, something for me, and something for my community. And so I had decided to open up this dance studio, and so it went from nobody walking in the doors to having 150 students, a staff of 15. I
Wow.
was putting on shows. I had an online dance studio, and then I had started coaching women in 2014. I started coaching them on love and positivity and loving yourself and finding yourself and confidence and finding your spark. So I had really created this legacy in a way for myself, and had found my now husband, and through online dating, but had gone, the women of the studio had witnessed me kind of going through the trenches of dating and putting myself out there. And everything changed for me in COVID. So COVID forced my first business, it forced
Sure.
it closed, and kind of catapulted this new business and this new journey, because I think as an entrepreneur, our job is to kind of listen not only to what our skill set is and
Mm.
who we are and what we have to offer, but also what is needed in the community. And more and more people were coming to me for dating advice. I had one woman hire me in particular, the fall of 2020, asking me to help her find what I had. And so that started my whole new journey of leaning into
Nice.
dating coaching, which led into matchmaking, because more and more people were asking me for matchmaking. And it was one of those things where you're just like, I mean, I'm a lover of people. I've always been a super connector. I've always been one of those people that
Mm.
has one of those faces that people are like, "You look familiar," or, a face that people can say anything to. And so just using all these gifts in a way to help people find love. I mean, to me, there's no other better place to be. And so now I have this new business that I opened in 2020, and now in an expansion, and just helping people find love. So
I love that.
that's what
I
I'm
love
doing.
it.
Yeah.
Speaking of love, I love it.
Yeah.
We do have to kind of think, listen to, I'm going to say listen to God. You can say listen to your higher self. You can say your higher power. You can say the universe. But when things change for you, a lot of people they don't like change, right? So then
Right.
they're always like trying to force it or really getting down or say, why did that have to happen and everything is ruined and I can't
Mhm.
go back. No, 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 just be quiet, be still, and hear why did this happen. Maybe there's reasons
Exactly.
that, as you said, you were catapulted, which is in a positive way. So
Yes.
the one business ended and the next business started, and that's awesome. That is great. So, before we get into like the actual matchmaking for businesses, I want to ask you, like, because you started the matchmaking business also during COVID 2020, how was that?
It was uh it was one of those times in which, COVID forced a lot of people to be introspective. You're spending a lot of time in isolation, and you're alone, and with singles, it really put light on, do I want a relationship in my life? What they were missing from their life? What are some things that they need to do differently in order to welcome love into their lives? And so I think that timing, I think it plays an important part in a lot of what we do too as entrepreneurs. And to me, it was the perfect time because more singles were looking for connection. And even though we had to do everything virtually, you're
Mhm.
connecting and you're having to do online dates and Zoom dates and or dates at a distance, those kinds of
Yeah.
things. I think that people were more open and they were more vulnerable and they were so craving wanting to have those types of connections with other people that I think that it was a it was like the most perfect time for this business to start blooming and to start growing. I took advantage of, something that was horrible and was able to make something beautiful out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I coached a stylist actually.
Oh, did
Um,
you?
yeah, it was quite fun. During that time, I had an intensive women's um, like a an ex, it was mostly, well, no, that was all women. That was all women, and it was really really cool. So I ended up with this amazing stylist that was in the DC area, and she's so creative and beautiful, just like yourself. And so,
Oh,
and you are, and there's just such a knack for the whole creative style. You're so she, and you're awesome. So that's great.
oh,
So, okay,
thanks.
I have a couple questions then. So,
Yeah.
because I happen to think like I'm a great connector and I'm a great matchmaker in a way, right?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
want to have, I want to hear how you would go about, like in a perfect world,
Mhm,
matchmaking entrepreneurs with maybe it's businesses or
mhm.
matchmaking entrepreneurs with how, what it is, what are your goals, and how can I help you gravitate toward and elevate those relationships.
Yeah, it's so I've actually done speed networking and it's pretty fantastic. And I think that if whoever's listening to this, if you can seek out speed networking
Yeah.
in your community, I think that that's a great place to start. But I think, first is understanding what your needs are, right? As an entrepreneur, and what are your needs in your business and what are the things that you're looking for that's going to benefit you. And I think that it's kind of the same thing with align with dating, which is, when you're single, what are your needs are, what's really important to you. And when we have a full understanding of like what our needs are, how can I also add value? And so it isn't just about showing up to these connections and saying to yourself, all right, this is what I want, what I want, what I want, which is one of the things that I love about alliances, honestly, is because it's all about, not only of what is it that you need, but then also what can you give and what can you
Mm,
contribute. And so I think if you have both of these things in mind, in which how can you contribute and how can you help others, and also being in line with what your needs are. And if those two things, if you're clear about those two things, allowing the opportunity for you to network in a way. And that's why I love speed networking, because part of matchmaking in businesses is also about the connection that you have with the person. It's not just because they look great on paper. You're
mhm.
like, okay, this is great. This could be possibly a good fit for my company, or this could be a great fit for whatever it is that you're looking for. You can bring them into real life and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this would
Right,
not be in line
right.
with my culture, or this person would not get along with my team," or whatever the case may be. And so I think that with speed networking, it's great because you have an understanding of who this person is, but you can get a sense of what their energy is and being like, okay, would this person be a good fit with myself and my own company versus just going off of a business card. And I think too, you have to also make time and effort. So, like, if there is a need that you're looking for, then you need to put forth some time and energy into that need and seeking out
Mhm.
opportunities for that need. It's just like dating. Like, you have to, it's all part of it. You got
Put
to
the
put
effort
yourself
into it,
out there
right.
and you've got to do the thing. And I think with matchmaking in businesses, you have to put forth some effort. You've got to set up those one-on-ones. You've got to go to those networking events, and not only just go to the networking events, but you have to say to yourself, all right, I'm going to promise myself that I'm going to make 5 connections at this event.
Right.
I'm going to have 5 conversations at this event, so that you're not just stuck in the corner with your pals that you go to every
That you're
networking
comfortable
event.
with.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. And it's like I'm very intentional when I go to a networking event. Like I'm going to the $1 Million Mingle. It starts on Friday. And actually there is a speed networking there
Oh, there
on
is. Oh,
Friday.
great. Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
I know.
Yeah.
So that is great. So I'll be
Yeah.
able to participate in that.
That's
And
fantastic.
I've put on speed networking events. Actually, this was during COVID. So I have the Entrepreneurs Hangout monthly event, and it's always the
Oh,
last
that's
Wednesday of
great.
every month. And it's online and in person. I'll make sure I invite you to it.
I love
But
that.
this was still during COVID. And I thought, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do a speed networking, And so we kind of switched on. This was before, like, when the Zoom rooms,
Oh,
the
but you could
breakout
like
rooms
do
and all.
breakout. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it worked out great. And it gives you an opportunity to touch base with somebody. And just like dating, where it's like, I would never go on a this is just me. I would never go on a first date and like make it like a long dinner or
No,
a
no, no, no.
weekend. Or I'm
Mm-mm.
like, no, I'm like, let's have a beverage so
Yes.
that I can get the heck out of there if I'm not, if you're not my cup of tea,
Right.
or whatever. And then, sometimes you're quite surprised and you go on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Business is the same way. You're
Yes.
not going to just jump into a contract with somebody that you don't
No.
know.
Nope.
Right.
It takes
Yeah.
time, and you have to build rapport, you have to build trust, you have to build some credibility with those people. And I think that, this is why even when you're in the interviewing process that you have to go through 4 different interviews before you're offered the job. It takes time, and you owe it to yourself to and I have, made some mistakes where I've gone off of one meeting and I've been like, "Oh, this is great. This
Yeah.
person's great.
Yeah.
Yes, we can go. We can do this collaboration or we can do this event together." But then I find out later that it was not a good fit, that I
Right.
should have given it some more time and
Yeah.
effort before I decided to be like, I'm going to be in a relationship with this person, basically.
Exactly. Yeah,
Because that's
no,
what
you're right.
collaborations are. They're relationships. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny. I think in matchmaking, the problem is today you can run, but you can't hide, right? No matter what. You just nothing is private. Nothing is private, right?
Yeah.
You are
You can
gonna find
try.
out
But yeah.
whatever it is. And I think business wise, I think that I always go and I'm going to check out the person. I'm going to see what they are on Facebook or what they
Mhm.
are on LinkedIn or what they are on Instagram. And I know that there's a lot of really, really private people out there, but at the same time, if you are that private, well, then maybe there is something, like some red flags, and you're really hiding something for whatever reason. And so, because I like that, I like to check people out. I'm big on LinkedIn. That's my area, like my platform. But my area of like Culpeper is very Facebook centric, So if
Yes.
you're not on Facebook, man, you're not getting business done. So,
Right.
I just think that it's a great way to check people out and kind of see, hey, what their jive is and what their energy level is and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think too, looking at Google reviews.
Oh
You can
yeah,
look at
absolutely.
people's reviews. You can look at their testimonials. I mean, do your due diligence for sure. I mean, do some research to find out. And people do this in dating too, where it's like they do background checks, they do,
Yeah.
a Google search, they will find out, more about the person. And I think that, I say that, but then like there's a part of me too that also says allow this person to show up and to give this person an opportunity to show
Mhm.
who they are, and not necessarily to take, just because someone has one bad review or just because there's one thing, allow the person also an opportunity. If there's enough alignment that's there, also, trust and lean into that, and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go ahead and, give this person the benefit of the doubt and lean in, and we'll just kind of see what happens. And I think that that's okay to do too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So you and I met in person a couple months ago at Alliance.
Yes.
Yes, isn't that fun? And that
Yes.
was the grand table. So I've
Yes.
had a couple people on my podcast from Alliance,
Oh,
and
great.
yeah, it's been great because they've been awesome people, awesome business people, super connected. And
Yes.
so you and I kind of like, I think we kind of hit it off like instantaneously. It was
We
like,
did. Yes.
hey, and we were just like besties, right? So Maybe we
Yeah.
had to check each other out a little bit more, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But it was great, just like, and so I'm like, no, I'd love to have you on my podcast. And, your energy is great and a beautiful person inside and out.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's such an honor to be here. I mean, I very much, I'm in the people business, and there is some intuitiveness of, when you see somebody, you just kind of know, you're just like, okay, I think this person's one of my people. You just
Yeah,
kind of know
exactly.
when you get to know somebody, you just say, yes, this is definitely one of my people. And I felt that way about you. So thank you so much.
You're awesome. You're awesome. So this is kind of this question popped up into my mind, and I think it could be a good one for our listeners.
Yeah.
Um, Without divulging what your prices are, because
Hmm.
you have a service
Yeah.
that is, it's a connection service. Okay, yours is
Yep.
dating, right? But it is a
Hmm.
connection service. So how did you come up with, and what when you were thinking about what am I going to charge?
Hmm.
How does my business model look? I'd like to hear a little bit about how you figured that out. Again, not to divulging what the costs are. And if
Right.
anybody wants to, your details are going to be in the show notes so they can hook you up, they can look you up, and you guys can
Hmm.
talk about it. But I
Hmm.
think that this is a great, interesting topic.
Yeah, and this is a topic that gets asked a lot in my business because it's not just you can't just it's not like I'm wanting to get a plumber for my
Yeah.
kitchen sink, and you can go contact all these plumbers and find out what they charge. Matchmaking is a service, just like with every service-based business, it's different and it's unique, and it's especially in the business that I'm in, it's very intimate where you're spending a lot of time with a person. So for me, it's been a lot of trial and error. I mean, it's
Right.
finding what works for you and to the point in which you feel valued, and that you feel that your worth is that people are recognizing your worth.
Yeah.
And for me, it used to be kind of a cookie cutter where it was like, you sign up for this program, it's this dollar, this is the service,
Hmm.
this is what you get, and this is how much it is. But what I'm realizing as more of a seasoned matchmaker is that everybody's different. And I can have one person that only needs my time and attention 1 hour a week, and I
Hmm.
have another person that needs my time and attention 4 hours a day. So
Yeah.
it's very, very different. And so for
Yeah.
me, it's how much time and energy do I feel that this person with this particular need, what service would be of the best fit? And then with in that service, how much time do I feel of my own is going to be
Hmm.
contributed to this service, in which is going to give this person the best results. And
Yeah.
so I am more organic and holistic when it comes to working with people, meaning I'm here to help them skip the line as quickly as possible.
Hmm.
I'm here that if you come to me of what your need is, I'm going to find that service that's going to fill that need as soon as possible. And sometimes it's just a consultation. So I charge for my consultations, which
Okay.
I weren't always charging. Those were free. But what I realized was that I was giving so much value in my consults because I've invested so much time and energy into my craft. I've been, among the leaders in my industry. I have flown all over the world to get the best knowledge I can to help the people in the best way possible. So why would I not charge for that consult? Because usually people
Absolutely.
come to me for the problem, and sometimes I can give them just enough information in that consultation that they don't need me. And that's great. And to me, again, if it's a win-win for both of us and they walk away with some newfound clarity or some understanding and letting them know that they're not alone, then yeah, it's a total win.
Yeah.
But what I was finding when I was doing them for free is I felt like I was being taken advantage of. I felt
Yep.
that
Yep.
people were just like shopping for prices. I felt that I wasn't being seen for my value. And then that was making me grumpy because if
Yep.
just in the intimate in space that I'm in with people, it's so high energy. I'm absorbing people's energy all the time. And so I needed to check myself and say, what is my value and what is my worth and what do I have to offer? And so to me, it's again, everybody's different, but I know that I always tell people that, because there are services in which people don't have to pay in my business. And I always tell them, I'm like, but your time is currency, right?
Right.
Time is
Right.
currency. So even if you're not
Right.
paying, you're giving me your time and I value that time. So yeah.
Exactly. It's funny that you say that because I do business booster calls, right?
Yeah.
And I don't charge for them. However, I had to learn because I'm a fixer, man. I'm a doer. I'm a fixer. I'm be like,
Same.
hey Cat. I'm like, hey Cat. Oh, okay. Oh, you got this problem. Well, you're on a business booster call with me, right? It's a 30-minute call. We're talking about boosting your business. How can I
Mhm.
fix it? And I'm like, I just fixed all of this, and she's not a client yet, right? So, but I have already fixed all of your issues, not necessarily maybe all of them, but
Right.
I've given you enough that
Yep.
you're like, oh, well, thanks very much, Kylie, for fixing this, you know? So I'm
Yes.
very careful at now how and what I deliver.
That
Yeah.
is it's a great strategy as well. And I think that it, if you in those consult calls and if you're not charging to kind of know what those limitations are and just to, I mean, to me, it's always asking questions, right? And kind of getting them to talk about really what's going on and then how
Yep.
you have the solutions to solve, and to help them and not necessarily tell them the things that they need to do to fix it, like you said, but to tell them that, oh, hey, I have, this is how I would handle that, or this is,
Exactly.
in our working together, I would do this or do that. So, to
Mm.
your point, I think that it is, you can find value yourself. It can be a valuable experience by not charging as long as you are setting boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's true. And you know what? You're right. The thing of it is time is everything. You can never get it
Yep.
back.
Nope.
And I've invested a ton of money and time in making myself be the best person that I can be and knowing that I am the real deal. And I just I put all my energy out there. And so who wants to not you need to value yourself so
Mhm.
that you're getting exactly what you're worth. And if you
Exactly.
don't, I don't know how you can even stand up to say that you're going to say that and help clients do that. So
Right.
exactly. I love that, Cat. This is amazing. So, well, I'm sorry I'm not going to get to see you in Phoenix this
I
weekend.
know, bummer. Not this
Yeah.
time, but maybe the next
The
time.
next
Yeah.
time, that would be great. I know
Yeah.
that. No, that will be super duper. And I'm going to reach out to my friend. I have a person that might be great match for your
Mm.
podcast. So that'll be
Oh,
good.
yeah. Oh, I would love
Yeah,
that.
I'll
Yeah.
keep my eyes open. I'm a good connector in that way. So
I love
that'll be
that.
fun. That'll be
Thank
fun.
you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you
Thank you.
guys, thanks for it. All of the show notes, you're going to have how to contact Kat for whatever it might be. And I can tell you, if you're lucky enough to have Kat help you matchmake, you're going to find
Oh,
the perfect person. I am very positive of that. So if you'd like to be a guest on my show, please hit me up. You can hit me up on Messenger, LinkedIn, Facebook, and or just a regular old email. So remember, we always do this every Wednesday, 3 p.m. EST, same time, same place, and bye for now.
bye.